Hello and welcome to
the Rambler Podcast
Network. School news, current events,
and a touch of nonsense.
Welcome everyone to episode 2 of the Rambler Podcast Network. I'm Xander Napont.
And I'm Jocelyn Morgan.
And we will be your hosts. So, something that a lot of you are probably wondering is why our first episode came out like 2 weeks after Boy Meets Broadway, and we were talking about Boy Meets Broadway the whole time. And that's because this is a hard job to do. Everything went pretty smooth, better than we had expected, but we didn't know there would be so many hurdles just getting it out there for people to listen to. And we're glad that we're receiving the feedback from our listeners. Really great 2 comments back there. I want to shout out Patrick Klooster and Quentin Nottage, our first commenters. Really glad that you guys could make it out to the comment section.
Now, going into the Christmas season, we've really got the ball rolling, and we should be cranking these out quicker.
Yep.
It's Christmas season. We've got the elementary Christmas shows starting, and you know how that goes. Puking children, stressed out parents.
And a parking lot that you cannot escape. No matter what, you will never be able to escape the parking lot during the elementary Christmas musical.
Okay, do you remember whenever Carter Binkley was Elphys in our elementary Christmas?
Yeah, well, so for those of you that don't know, Jocelyn is a year younger than me, and our class in elementary school, our Christmas play was Elphys. It was called The Elf Impersonator or something like that. and there was this Elvis elf character, and it was played in our grade by Gabe Wright.
And in our grade by Carter Binkley.
And it's a lifelong debate that the grades have. Who is the better Elphys? I don't think anyone even really knows that this is a lifelong debate, but it is.
But it is.
Like, we are rivals till death. There is nothing that will stop me from saying that Gabe Wright is the better Elphys.
Carter Binkley is the better Elphys.
So, let's get into this, Jocelyn. Shall we?
All right, yeah.
So I think that Gabe was a better Elphys because he brought more character to the stage.
I have to disagree on that. I think that Carter Binkley was a better Elphys because he was so charismatic. And let me tell you, when we were in 4th grade, Carter Binkley, am I right?
Carter Binkley. Here's the thing, though. Will you ever be able to see Gabe Wright in his current personality be Elphys again? Think about that. This was a rare occurrence. We're never going to be able to see Gabe bring that same attitude and drive to Elphys like he did before. That brings up his value, if you ask me.
Point
no
taken.
Comment on that? Oh.
All right.
So, like we said, with the Christmas season coming up, there's a lot to be excited for. And we're having such a great start of the holiday season, in my opinion. Snow's on the ground. We're having a good time. But we want to know, what's your guys' favorite thing about the holiday season? What's something in the past that you always looked forward to on the holidays? What's something that you want to see this year happen with your family and friends? And if we could just have you guys post that in the comment section, just like Patrick Klooster and Quentin Nottage did. That would be greatly appreciated. And you can check out what we have to say about that on later episodes. Something that we really want to start to do is have audience interactions. Best way we can is by talking to you guys through the comments. All right. We're going to go to a short break here, and we will be back with our next guest interview. Who's it going to be, Jocelyn? Ooh.
Mr.Daniels from the Boyne City History Department.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Rambler Podcast Network. So we are here with Mr. Daniels. How are you doing today, Mr. Daniels?
I'm doing very well, thank you guys.
Are you looking forward to the holiday season? We should ask.
I am. Yeah, I like a little bit of time off. I get to go skiing.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's good. It's exciting.
Anything special planned in the up?
Just a couple days in the up. It's gonna be a short trip up there this year.
Up to the up.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you were a teacher before you came to Boyne, correct?
Yes. Yeah. 1 year before I was here.
All right.
That's it.
Where did you teach at?
I was at a little charter school down by Alba.
When you say little, like how little?
Like
little?
Like little. Like K-12, there are probably 180 kids.
Oh, okay.
It was very small.
No kidding. So, obviously, that was pretty different than Boyne, I'm guessing.
Very different. This is like an urban city center compared to
right.
compared to that little school.
And that's kind of we want to talk to you about how Boyne compares to your experience at that school, or maybe even your own high school experience might be nice.
So, when was the first year you started teaching at Boyne?
First year I was in Boyne, and I was just looking at that question thinking, is it 15, 16 or 16, 17? And to be honest with you, I want to say it was the fall of 2016.
I feel like
that was
that's
my first
right.
year here.
Because is econ a freshman class?
Econ is a sophomore class, so
Yeah.
I had you as a sophomore.
Yeah,
and
because
that was my first year, I think.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, it was because we were like, oh, is a new teacher going to be cool? Turns out he was a big nerd.
Ouch.
Oh,
But
man.
the coolest nerd.
Yeah, way to save yourself a little bit on that one.
Okay. You guys know that show Untold Stories of the ER? Where they tell all like the crazy things that have happened.
Yeah.
What is your craziest like untold story of being a teacher?
That was a good connection. I like that.
That is a good question. I would say maybe coming out of my first year down at that first school. I had a girl go kind of like full on, I don't even know how to characterize it, like Godzilla, throwing desks to the side. Somebody across the room had said something not very nice to her, and she
went kaiju on you.
Really went after it. So that was a very exciting day. I don't want to have that repeated, so I don't want to give anybody ideas.
Do you see any notion that would ever happen at Boyne?
No, I don't think so. But you got to always be prepared for something like that.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, other than, the intrigue of having Godzilla, what were you sorry to leave at your old school?
It was given that it was so small, the high school or not even the high school, the middle school and high school consisted of 4 teachers. And so I think we were all hired there. That was not our first year teaching, but our first year there all together.
Right.
And then after that year, everybody kind of split and went their different ways. So it was like this group of 4 kind of in it together. And that was probably the most entertaining portion of it, was that nobody really knew going into it what it was going to be like. And coming out of it, now everybody's somewhere else. So it's kind of a little snapshot in time.
It was probably good to have like a little small teaching experience before you got into such a bigger school too. Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
I can't imagine, like, especially because I want to be a teacher, and I can't imagine teaching like at larger schools like in the inner city, because when I think of school, I think of like how like open and like welcome Boyne kids are usually with newer staff, and I think that would be really challenging.
Yeah, well, I think it's partially it's intimidating going anywhere.
Right.
It's intimidating on the first day of school,
No
like
kidding.
when you guys come back every year, because you don't know what the new personalities are going to be.
Yeah.
So it's that, it's kind of that experience, and I don't know if you want to call or reference, what is it, 50 First Dates? Maybe that's kind of a goofy rom-com to reference, but it's the same idea. Every single first day, you kind of do the same thing.
Yeah.
And you might get something totally different than what you were expecting. So
that is interesting. I never really thought of it that way, where it's like they're doing like the same thing with a certain class like every year, but different people. Like,
right. So, speaking of the intimidation factor, when you came to Boyne, which staff member intimidated you the most?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question.
Or were you just king of the hill?
No, king of the hill, far from it. Yeah, I don't know. Coming in, everybody's pretty set in, kind of what they're doing. So, I don't know. I'm gonna take a pass. I don't know that I could actually answer that question.
Well,
and I feel like relating that back to what we were talking about with like meeting new people, it must have been strange because all the teachers at Boyne, we all know them and they all know each other.
Yeah.
There's kind of like this this feeling in the air, like when each teacher enters a room, you know what like to expect from them. Which
yeah, and I think part of it is so we often hear freshman year is intimidating for the freshmen, which I'm not going to deny that that's not the case, but even they have a few other people, right? So coming in, you have that again odd experience where you have a class of maybe 30 that they all know each other, and then there's this other group, and it's all about kind of how the groups interact and who knows who and what things happen. So I think the whole experience is kind of can be a little jarring at very first.
Was there anything about Boyne, or maybe even still is, that like you think needs to be changed or needs to have attention brought to?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think about where I went to school, where I had taught previous to here, and the problems that we had like at my high school in Marquette. It's a much bigger school. It's things that we don't have here.
Right.
The culture was one of those things when I got here that it was amazing to see kind of the tight knit spirit that we have. The school I was at before this, way smaller, but again didn't have that similar kind of culture or pedigree. It was a very disparate kind of setup. So changing things, I don't know. I mean, I'm happy to be here. So. I don't know that there's anything that I would single out individually.
This next question, we need you to be completely honest with us.
Okay.
Does Mrs. Deming bully you?
Only occasionally. She can be a rough one.
Mr. Daniels.
We all know Mrs. Deming is the most despicable teacher on the staff.
Without a doubt.
So, like, we need to make sure next time if she has any problems with you, you need to talk to me, okay?
Okay. I will come straight to you, Xander.
All right. You
Without
make
a
sure
doubt.
you tell her, listen here, Mrs. Deming. I got Xander Napont in my corner now.
Yeah.
So you better watch out.
He is backing me up.
Yeah.
While we're real talking, what's it like being Pontoni's neighbor? Because your classrooms are right across from each other.
When I just went to get them, they were already like doing that neighborly thing. They were on the fence with each other, leaning over, talking to each other.
Yeah, it was kind of a little like Heidi Ho moment. I don't know. We do that a lot throughout the day. I'm sure as you guys walk by, you see us chit-chatting and kind of, seeing what's going on, trading notes on the day. But, yeah, you never really know what to expect. It's fun to, occasionally I just hear him like yelling from his room while I'm in class.
Well, you had, I'm pretty sure you had to do with this, the Puttin on the Ritz thing. That's in
Puttin on the Ritz, yeah. What would you like to know about the Puttin on the Ritz?
Just why it happened.
Why my face is on
Puttin on the Ritz.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us what that is first?
There's that song. I forget what it's called. I'm sorry, but
I think it's Puttin on the Ritz.
Puttin on the Ritz.
Yeah.
It was Puttin on the Ritz, and somebody took a picture of Vladimir Putin and made him ride a Ritz cracker to play on the words. Puttin on the.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty good. In fact, that should be special outro music today. You guys should find some Puttin on the Ritz.
Oh, that's a good idea. Well, I'll look into that.
I don't know if we can
Chandler.
do that.
You
That
don't,
might
you don't
be
worry
like-
about that. I'll figure that out in post.
I shouldn't be giving you ideas like that because that's tech stuff I wouldn't be able to figure out.
You know what? We don't need the copyright claims. That's Daniels. If we get copyright claimed by whoever made Puttin on the Ritz, we're ruined.
Hey, again, that's why I said I shouldn't be making these claims. I have no idea what this entails.
Speaking of music,
Yes.
do you remember that fish cookie cutter?
The fish cookie cutter, yes, it's sitting in my room. It's in the window.
So tell us about fish. How long
Yeah.
have you liked fish?
I don't know. A while here. I don't know if I have a specific date or moment, but I did when I was,
September 12th, 2007.
Yeah, no, I don't have any sort of like origin story moment like that.
Same question, but
That's fish with a PH for anybody
It
listening.
is, yes.
Same question, but Grateful Dead. You and I are both Deadheads.
Yes,
We'll
yes.
talk about. I went to
Yeah,
the
Xander was yelling at me about spelling Grateful Dead wrong.
yeah.
Well, yeah, you should know how to spell Grateful Dead. That is an important aspect of
Everyone she wrote
English language.
EAT and not.
No, I
AT.
wrote ATE.
Oh, did you?
Do you want to fight right now?
No fighting.
All right.
That wouldn't be in the culture of either of those bands that
You're
we're
right.
talking about.
You
That's-
are correct.
that's very true.
Hey, you're so right.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Thank you so much for being a part of this, Mr. Daniels. It was great interviewing you.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for having me, guys.
Like we said before, please send us your questions about our episodes. If you have any problems with something or anything, let us know in the comments. Tweet us at Team BCVI.
Mr. Daniels, do you have any insightful words to end with?
I don't think so.
All right.
Any goofy antics to?
No goofy antics, no. And I think you asked the same question to your pilot program interviewee as well. And when I heard that yesterday as I was listening to it, I'm thinking, if they ask me this question, I'm in trouble. No, I have zero insightful words.
Let it be. Let it be.
Let it be.
Yeah, something like that. All right. Next time, we're going to have a very special episode. It is going to be...
It's Christmas.
It's Christmas! We're doing the first and very special episode of RPN, the Holiday Podcast. I hope everyone's there and in their holiday spirit. Please, like we said before, comment your holiday stories below.
And don't forget,
It's
a great day to be a Rambler.